10 years ago, if you walked into a tattoo shop and it wasn't covered in, you know, the pictures all over the walls and the flash racks and everything, you'd probably walk out, like, not get it. But now people kind of look around and they see artwork on the walls instead, like paintings, you know, whatever. And they're like, oh, you people are actually artists, you know? Like, you kind of see the gears turning. And they'll start asking questions like, well, where's your skulls or whatever? It's like, well, what kind of skull do you want? We can draw whatever you need, you know? There's, you know, a wealth of information on the internet. We can find some reference material, draw something up for you. You can bring in a design. Like, the possibilities are endless. Why limit yourself to, like, you know, 20 different ugly, poorly drawn skulls on the wall? You know, when the sky's the limit. So that helps, I think, a lot. But every now and then, yeah, people definitely do come in and they don't really know necessarily what they want to get, or they just want to get a tattoo or whatever. And that's always a little bit weird for me, because I definitely want, if I'm going to be tattooing you, I want you to be happy with it 20 years from now. I don't want you to look at it and be like, God, that fucking Mez, look what she did to me, because you weren't thinking, you know, you weren't caring about it. And I don't necessarily mean that, like, you have to have, like, this enormous, huge reason for getting every single tattoo, but like it, you know, have something that you're excited to get for a while at least, you know. I don't know. My mother, when I got my first tattoo, when she found out about it a few years later, she cried. And then when I got my neck tattoo, she cried because it was so visible. And when I got my hands tattooed, you could tell she wanted to cry, but it was a little late, and she just kind of shook her head and looked really sad. And I kept trying to ask her, like, what's the big deal? This is just who I am, you know, I'm still the same person. And she's like, I just don't want to imagine going through all that pain, you know? Like, it's really that innocent for her. She sees a piercing or a tattoo and she just imagines the pain that we had to go through to get it. And I'm like, everything worth having in life usually hurts a bit, you know? You have to go through something to get it. What I think my responsibility is only to inform you. Like, maybe give you ideas that maybe you haven't thought of. To just say, hey, have you thought about this, that, and the other thing? Like, I know a lot of artists refuse to tattoo necks or tattoo hands because it can stop them from being able to get a job in the future or whatever. I don't think it's my job to tell you what you should or shouldn't do with your body. I'm here, I'm a contractor, I'm a commercial artist, essentially. You tell me you want to get a tractor on your forehead, sit down, we're gonna do it. You know, it's cool. I don't want one, but that's cool. But I will talk to you about it and say, have you thought about the repercussions of having a tractor on your forehead? Because it might get in the way of, you know, relationships or jobs or multiple other things in the future. But if they swear up and down, no, I've been wanting this for 2-3 years, it's my dream to get this, I've been saving my pennies, you know, and I want it right now, I'm not gonna say no. So I think yes, it should be everybody's responsibility to try to at least give you an informed decision. Because a lot of times too, it's not because the customer is stupid, they're just not a tattoo artist. They don't necessarily have the same thought process that we do. They don't necessarily, or see things the way that we do, or have an idea the way that we do about, like, what colors might be appropriate. It might be something simple like, hey, can I change this to make it fit your body? Like, you should ask that question, because it's going to look better. You don't have to know that, but I do know that, so I should share that information with you. And if you don't want me to, I'll say, are you sure? Because I think it'll look better. Okay, no, that's fine. It's your tattoo. You have to love it. I don't. You have to look at it for the rest of your life, you know? But I don't think it's our responsibility to say no, or necessarily, like, tell people what they should or shouldn't do. Just kind of give them more of an educated opinion, I guess. And I try to talk to people about, like, hey, you know, you're getting this one tattoo in the middle of your arm. Are you sure you're never going to want more? Are you sure are you the kind of person that might want to have a sleeve one day, or a half sleeve? Or would you like to have a bigger tattoo? Think about all of these things. And, you know, it's really hard for a lot of people. A lot of people really want instant gratification. They want to come in, get a tattoo, and be done. And it's definitely a lot. I mean, you saw both pieces I worked on today. Those are in progress. And, like, Garth, we've probably worked on his arm 4 times, I think. And we've got one more to go, probably. Carrie, that was the second session. We still have at least 2 or 3 more to go. You know, I mean, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of pain, it's a lot of dedication. You know, you have to really mean it to get something that epic or whatever, but it's totally worth it. And I think that the more people see stuff like that, the more they realize, okay, maybe I should just save up and do it right, you know, instead of just getting something that I'm just going to want to cover up in a couple of years. So, because that does happen a lot. I think that people should be really excited about what they're getting done and put a lot of thought into it and see what's out there, see what's possible, because like people don't even believe when I've shown them some of these people out there that are so amazing. Like, don't limit yourself. You know, I have people that have, you know, flown in from other states to come get tattooed by me because I'm the specific style that they want. You know, I know artists that have had people fly in from other countries, and, you know, if it's going to be on there forever, like, do your research, find the artist that's exactly, like, that's the art that you want to support for the rest of your life. Be excited about it, talk to them about it, you know. Just have a good time, don't limit yourself, don't limit yourself. That's boring. There's so many possibilities. I've gotten pretty private with one woman. Not quite as private as a gynecologist, maybe, but about as close as you can get without that degree. And it was a unique situation. I wouldn't necessarily agree to do that for just anybody, but I tattooed her a few times, and she was hilarious. She was a strange woman. She was a model, or she used to be a model. She was a bit older now, but she was from Germany, had a thick accent. And every time I tattooed her, she just would tell me, she was like one of those people that told you every fact about their life and had no secrets. And her life was juicy. Like, there was no shame. She was never embarrassed, you know. I would never tell this stuff to anybody. I would never do half the stuff that she talked about. So her husband cheated on her or left her. I don't quite recall. But, she decided that she would be a lesbian instead now because, you know, fuck men, you know, obviously because her husband did this. And so she got a tattoo of a skunk, like, right there. Yeah.